Right now, first of all, we'll talk about what are the decision statements available in Java. Right, or we can call it as conditional statements. Right now, mainly, you could use if statements and then the switch statements, if and switch are the two main decision or the conditional statements we could use in Java, right? Then here, if and switch statements are commonly referred as the decisional statements or the conditional statements, and under that, we're going to talk about how we're going to work with the if condition. Right. Sometimes you may have a question like now, for an example, if the condition is true, we need to display something. Or for an example, okay, if the marks is above 45, we need to say pass. Right now, we need to say pass. So if the marks are greater than or equals to 45, we need to say pass. In such situation, right now, we know that for the time being, right now, if we have variable called marks, and then we can check the marks value whether it is greater than or equals to 45. If the marks value actually the variable marks, what are the value it's holding, if it is above or equals to 45, then that would return true. Now that's what we know only. Now here we can use this operator and then we can check whether this condition is true or not. If the condition is true, that means if the value containing inside this marks variable, if it is greater than or equals to 45, it will return true. But now, if you want to go one step additional, one step ahead, right? If the marks variable is greater than or equals to 45, and you want to say, okay, you have passed the exam. Right now, then if it is true, then the condition is that if the marks is greater than or equals to 45, then say you have passed. Right, then we have condition to check if the condition satisfied. If the condition satisfied, we need to do something. Then these actions are based on if and only if the condition is satisfied. In such situation, we could use the if conditions. Therefore, let's see how to work with this if conditions. Like as usual, we'll declare a class called test. And the main method. Right now, let's say if I want to get an input from the user, how can you take an input from the user? I want to get user input. How can I get the user input from the user? Hello, I want to get the username and the subject marks. How can I do that? Using what? If I want to get a user input, how can I take a user input? I think previously we discussed about that, right? Isn't it? Okay, have we discussed about the scanner class? Hello, I want you to talk. Sorry.
The import java.util.scan.
Sorry, Chatura?
Import java.util.scan.
Yes, that means we have discussed that already. Yes, we have to have the import statement first. We have to import because we are using a class which is available inside a different package, not in this package. Therefore, we have to import java.util.scan. The class name is scanner. We are importing the scanner class, and then let's create scanner class object. Scanner scan equals new scanner. Right, now let's say we want user to enter the name and the marks. And then we're gonna ask user to enter the name. We'll get the name. Name equals. How to get the name? Kavisha. Yes, scan object dot next line. Yes, exactly. Very good. Right, because then can someone tell me what is the difference between next method and the next line method?
From next method, the output print with output print until the first space.
Yes, great. Yes.
Next line means the full answer will be the
It will
output.
take the input until you press the enter key. Right, very good. Right now we have taken the name and then let's ask user to enter the marks. Marks, and then that's gonna be integer variable called marks, integer marks. Right. What should be the method I should use in order to take an integer value?
Next int.
Next int.
Next int. Right, great. Right, now I have the marks variable contains the marks value. Name variable contains the name. Right, now what should I do now? I want now here comes the condition. If the student has scored above or equals to 45, display you have okay, what is the name? Hello name, you have passed the exam. That's what I want to display. If and only if the marks is above or equals to 45, then the condition it says if and only if the condition is true, then we're going to use the keyword if. If is a keyword, if is a keyword, then we're going to use the if keyword. If is a keyword, then we're going to use if inside the brackets. This is how we're going to use the if statements. If here we're going to have the condition. If the condition is true, then we're going to have the body statements. Then body statements will get executed if and only if. Then here will be the body statements. If the condition is true, if the condition is true, the body statements will get executed. If the condition is true, the body statements will get executed. Right. Then here will be the body statements. If the condition is true, these would get executed. Right now, what I want to have, the condition is right now, if the condition is true, now these, if the condition is true, now these statements will get executed. If the condition is true, these will get executed. Right now, I wanted to write down the condition. What is the condition? If the marks vary. And remember this. Here, this inside this brackets, whatever you have written has to be evaluated to a true or false. That means it has to be a Boolean value. Right? This condition, whatever you have inside the bracket, you can have conditions. Right? Whatever it is, it has to get evaluated to a true or false. That means it has to get evaluated to a Boolean value. If the marks variable is greater than or equals to 45, marks variable is greater than or equals to 45. Right, if the marks is greater than or equals to 45, the condition is that. What I want to do, I want to display that whatever the name of the username, you have passed the exam. You have passed the exam pass. Right now, name, you have passed the exam. Right now, this will happen if and only the way marks is above or equals to 45. Right, test.java. Right now, it will ask the name. Let's say Jendo. Marks 12 does nothing. And marks 35 does nothing. John Smith, if it is 45, then it says John Smith, you have passed the exam. John Smith, you have passed the exam. Right now it says John Smith, you have passed the exam. Right, then John 46, John, you have passed the exam. Likewise, this should print now. Because now, right now, this is how you, if the condition is true, then only you need to display. Right now, you have passed the exam, likewise it will display. If it is 100, you have passed the exam. Right now, then I want to have a space here. You have passed the exam. If it is 100, you have passed the exam. If it is 35, nothing would display. Right now, because this get displayed, remember, if and only. Then let's say I want to have in 2 lines. Hello, name, you have passed the exam. Right now, let's say whatever you wanted to display, you can have it here. Right, now you can see you can have any number of statements here inside these brackets. Right, now this is how you use if condition. Right, now let's say now you come with another condition, another requirement. Now if the condition is true, display that. If it is not, if the condition is not, it won't do anything, right? If the condition is fail, then it won't display anything. Now if the condition also fail, if you want to display something, then you have something called else. Else. Inside the else statements, you can display in the else statement, you can say try again. Sorry, again. If the marks is less than 45, 44, then it would display hello and sorry, try again. Now, if the marks is less than this 45, therefore the condition is false now. If it is false, this get executed. If the condition is false, else statements will get executed. If the condition is true, the body statements will get executed. If the condition is true, the body statements get executed. If the condition is false, else statements will get executed. Therefore, if you have done the flow charts now, right now this is how it gonna looks like. I'm gonna have only the part of it, and then let's say now I'm not gonna write all. Then inputs would display using the okay, we have the condition. If the condition is true, and if the condition is false, and then here this is the condition. If this is true, if this is false, if the condition is false, it would code in else, and here if the condition is true, then it's gonna display code in if body body statements. And then it would be the, and therefore now since I have drawn half of it now, let's say this is somewhere right now. This is how, if the condition is true, it gonna go to the body statements and proceed. If the condition is false, it goes to the else statement and then proceed. This is how it gonna looks like, right?
Sir,
Yes.
is it okay if we do this in NetBeans?
NetBeans, okay, we'll do NetBeans in a little while, because we need to make sure all the statements and then these syntax errors, whatever the errors we're gonna make at the beginning is correct. Like we know how to fix it and how to correct it and how to identify whether we have made a mistake likewise. And then after another 2 weeks, 3 weeks time, we'll go to an IDE. Because if you go to an IDE, all the errors will be displayed. No? Therefore, then it will autocorrect most of those. Therefore, I think it's better we can use Notepad for a few weeks. If you really want, you can go ahead.
Okay,
Right.
sir. Thank you.
Okay. Right now, I want to check whether the given number is an even number. You have to ask user to enter a number and check whether it is an even number or not. Right. Ask user to enter a number and then check whether the given number is an even number or not.
So equal and equal sign.
Sorry?
Equal and equal sign.
I can't hear you. Equal.
Equal and equal.
Yeah, what I want you to do is write the code to once you get the user input and then check whether it is an even number. If it is an even number, display it is an even number. And then send it to me via chat. Okay. Quickly send me the answer, please. I want you to get the number, user to enter a number. And the number is inside n, and then we need to have the condition. If the condition is true, I want to say is an even number. What is the number? Is an even number. Right. What is the condition to be used?
N modulo 2
N,
equals
yes.
0. N reminder
N
2
modulus.
equals 0
N modulus 2
equals 0.
equals 0. If n modulus 2 equals 0, that means we are
Then
checking whether
it's
it is an even
even
number.
number. Yes,
Right.
it's a odd number.
Yes?
Yes, it's a odd number.
Yes, it's an odd number. Right. Okay. Right. Okay, now let's say I'm gonna have at the end I'm gonna have thank you. Right, now in this code, now I'm asking you to enter number. And then if I enter 45, which is an odd number, it says thank you. It does not print this, it's an even number. If I enter 14, it's an even number, then it would display 14 is an even number. 14 is an even number. Thank you. Then, no matter whatever, whether the condition is true or false, it would print thank you part. If the number is an even number, then only this would get printed. Now, even if you have to do additionally, if it is not an even number, you need to display it as an odd number as well. Then you can have else. You can have else, and then you can have it's an odd number, right? Then you can have it's an odd number. Is an odd number, right? If it is 45, 45 is an odd number. If it is 44, 44 is an even number. Likewise, it will print. Now, and anyway, no matter whether it is even or odd, at the end it will display thank you. That is how you use base if else condition. Right. Now, this is what I want you to do. Ask user to enter the price, unit price, and ask user to enter the quantity, and then calculate the total by calculating price into quantity. Now you can get the price into quantity, and then add the VAT, 10% VAT, okay, 18% VAT, add the VAT into 18% to the total. So, total. Add it, and after that display buy it or purchase it with price, the total with that, the amount, what is the cost, including VAT is less than 5,000, you need to purchase it. Seek approval if it seek approval, purchase, seek approval, cost inquiries 5,000 to 10,000 range. And then you have to display don't purchase. About 10,000. You need to display these. And wait, value it, add. Then you ask unit price. Let's say you like this unit price, and then the quantity. And then calculate total. Add 18, add VAT, which is 18% of total. And then display purchase. This is the condition, right? Okay, now this is what you have to do. Okay, quickly try out. And the first thing is this. And if the other one asks you to enter the marks, use that to enter the marks. Display the grade. Display grade. F. If the mark is in between 0 to 45, F. C 45 to 55. B 55 to 65. Okay, 45 to 65. 65 to 85. A 85 to 100. Right, now these are the two questions that I want you to do. Quickly do it and send me the answers via chat. What do you have to do now? Ask user to enter the unit price. Okay, then you're gonna ask user to enter the price. I'm gonna make it as float. Price is the next float. And I want to get the quantity. Let's say QTY. I'm gonna ask user to get the quantity integer. Okay, let's say it is also float. Q equals next float. And then we calculate the total. Total equals price into quantity. And again, we have to add the VAT as well. The total equals total multiplied by total multiply equals, you can say. Now, how to get this? We have to add what? 18% now, whatever the total value. Whatever the total value, we need to multiply it by 18%. Now, this is what you need to get. Then this will give you other VAT percentage. Therefore, if you multiply by 118, including the VAT, you will get. Then 118 divided by 100. 1.18. Therefore, if you multiply by 1.18, that would be easier for you to calculate. Therefore, total equals 1.18. Total equals total multiplied by 1.18. Right. And then that would be the value. Then you could display the value. Right. Then we could display total after total with VAT. Gonna be the total value, and thereafter we have to check whether if we want, if the value is if the total is less than 5,000, we need to say purchase. All right. Otherwise, if the total is greater than 5,000, greater than, total is greater than, or let's say greater than or equals to 5,000, and the total is less than 10,000, less than or equals to 10,000, let's say. We need to say, let's say we'll say seek approval. And if If the total value is greater than 10,000, you have to say don't purchase. Do not purchase. Right. First one is done. Let's see how to get this thing. Price 100 and the quantity is 20. Then total with that 2,360, therefore purchase. And then, okay, here if it is 155, total with that 6,190 seek approval. If it is 190 and 185, then total with that 41,000 something, do not purchase. Right. Likewise, it would display. Now, here my question is, right? Okay, think wisely and tell me if the price, if the total with VAT, if it is 2,360, how many if conditions will get evaluated? Or how many conditions will get evaluated? If the price is, the total with VAT is 4,000, easy question. If the total with VAT is 4,000, how many conditions will get evaluated?
1.
Only one? No, wrong. Evaluated in the sense will get checked, let's say. How many conditions will get checked?
2.
2. No. Think and tell me quickly. How many conditions, huh? Let's be the compiler and see. Right, now what happens first? Here.
දෙකයි 3යි
3?
3
I doubt it. No. Shamara, what do you think? Elshi?
only one condition.
No. Yeah, let's see. Okay, now we have the total. Now I said the total is given. Total is 4,000. Right. The total value is 4,000. Fine. Now, here, let's say the cursor, now we are compiling or running this line. Total less than 5,000 only. Now, how many conditions? Okay, now we're going to check one. What is it? Total less than 5,000. This is the first condition we're going to check, and this will evaluated to true. Therefore, this will display purchase. Right. And again, it goes to next line. It again check total greater than equals to 5,000, then it becomes false. And if it is false, right? If it is false now, if it is false, will it get evaluated this side or not?
No.
Yes, right now that is my bad. That's why I have not considered about the short circuit AND operator, right? For those who guys said 3 conditions by considering this short circuit AND operator, that's correct. I forgot this actually totally. Right now, since if this is false, because total is 4,000, 4,000 greater than equals 5,000, no false. Therefore, this won't check this side. Why? This won't check because short circuit and operator. If you are using short circuit and operator, if the first condition is false, then no point of checking the next. Anyway, the answer will be false, right? Therefore, this won't check this side. This will not be checked. And again, this would be checked. Then total is 4,000 greater than 10,000. This would be also false. Therefore, first condition 1, second condition, third condition. Therefore, it's gonna check 3 conditions. It's gonna check 3 conditions. No matter if the first one become true, it will check all these conditions. Right. By any chance, if you have this, if you had this as an AND operator, then this would be 4. If it is AND operator, then this would be 4. Therefore, it's going to be evaluating 4 conditions like this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. In that case, 4. No matter right now, the first if condition is true, doesn't matter at all because there is no relationship between if the first condition is true, but doesn't matter. This is a separate if condition. It will check this. And again, this is another if condition. This will check this. Therefore, these are 3 separate if conditions. Therefore, each and every if condition will get evaluated. Right. That's how it works. Even the first one is true or false, no matter. The second one will be tested. Second one true or false, no matter. The third one would be tested. Right. Likewise, it will work. Right. Then, if you had AND operator, you know there will be 4 operations. 4 conditions would be checked. If it is short circuit AND operator here, only 3 would be checked. Right. Now, right, okay, let's try this one as well. Quickly do the second one. Display the grade as well. This part, quickly do it and send it to me. Has anyone completed it? Right now, if you, okay, one answer is there. Okay. Send me the answer, others also quickly. Okay, we need to get the marks from the user. Okay, right, then we'll ask user to enter the marks. And let's say integer marks. We'll get it as int. And then we have to check. Marks is equals to right now if the grade, now how to check whether the grade, if the grade is less than, if the mark is less than 45, if the marks variable, if it is less than 45, then you have to say grade F. Now, how to check the second one? C. How to check the second condition? C. Someone tell me quickly. C. How to display the grade C? Yes.
Less than 55. If marks less than 55.
Less than 55. C. Okay.
Grade C.
Right. The next one. Less than 65, not 55, no? 65. And this one?
Less than or equal to 85.
Less than 85, it is B. And the next one? Is it
Yes.
else? Okay, no, if else.
So
Okay,
can you
then-
put only one operator in the if condition?
Sorry?
Can you put only one operator in the if condition?
No, you can have multiple conditions. Then that's what we have learned last time, the logical operators, and short circuit O, and O operator likewise.
No, like that greater than mark is only in the condition, but isn't it less than or equal to?
Yes, very good thing. Yes, okay. Yes, sir. Okay. Just let me run this and see how it's gonna go. Right now, this is an totally right now this is if condition is else. Now these are separate if conditions. Right. Now 1, 2, 3. Right. Okay. Let's run it and see. Now, if marks. Okay, my bad. Right, if it is above less than 45, let's say 40. Now it says grade F, grade C, grade B. Right, above, if it is 40, it says FCB. Can someone tell me what's going on here? Why is it? Why is this?
We don't enter the two conditions. It's higher than and lower than both. Should be correct. There will be a one grade.
Yeah, now what's happening actually? Okay, let's go through the code and see. Right, the first one, what it does? It checks.
Check all the conditions.
No, it checks whether the marks variable value is less than 45. Now we have entered mark value as 40. Then the condition is true. Right, 40 less than 45 true. Then it prints grade F. Fine. And again, another if condition, separate if condition, it checks 40 less than 65. Yes, true. Then it prints C. And again, another if condition, 40 less than 85. True. Then it prints B. Since it is true, it won't print the else statement. That's what happens now. Okay, now we have a question now. Okay, this is not what we wanted to do. Now, here, right now, let's say here, rather without using else statement as well here, if I'm going to use if the marks is above 85, if the marks is above 85, above or equals to 85, print A. Likewise, I'm going to say. Right. Now, or else like we'll have something like this if the mark is above 85. Okay, we'll start from here. Now, what is this? This is a separate if condition. The first thing we need to do is we need to display F if it is mark is in between 0 to 45. Even though it is a negative value, we assume that the assumption is marks is always in between 0 to 100, right? And then here we have checked if the mark value, whatever the marks variable, if it is less than 45, it would print F. Now, if not, if you need to go to this one, therefore we need to make sure the marks variable value is greater than or equals to 45, and marks variable value is greater than or equals to 45 and less than marks variable value is like now. If you want to make it more clear, we can have a separate set of brackets. Then in order to make the improve the readability. Then we can say if the marks is greater than 45 and less than 65. If it is within this range, C. If not, we can say if the marks is greater than or equals to 65 and if the marks is less than to 85, then print B. Else, then we could again say if the marks values are greater than 85, if the marks values are greater than or equals to 85 and If the marks values are less than 100, less than or equals to 100, right now you can say A. Right, if it is A. And then even if you want, you can have mentioned it is if it is greater than 0 and less than or equals to 45. Likewise, you can have it here. Right, even if you don't mind, if you assume that if it is up to 100, now you don't have to check this. If the mark is above 85, print A. Likewise, you can have it. But now tell me, if I enter 40, whatever the mark I'm going to give you, will this check each and every if condition or not? Whatever the mark you're going to give, will this test each and every if condition or not?
It will check every if condition.
Yes, because these are separate if conditions. Therefore, no matter this is true, it will check all these as well. Therefore, we have something called if-else if ladder. That means if-else if ladder is used to combine multiple if conditions. Right now we have, let's say, if condition and we have the condition. If the condition is false, what's going to happen? If the condition is false, if the condition is false, it's going to go into the else. Therefore, here the same thing we could do. If the condition is false, I can put it inside else. If the condition is false, it's going to check. If the condition is false, it's going to check again. This. Right. And thereafter, again, if this condition is false, again you can check put else as well. Right. Therefore, since this is a little bit complicated, I'm going to use like for an example, let's say we have let's use if else if like this. What is the example we're going to use if else if? Right now, let's say right now we will say if condition is true. Right now we'll do something like this. If let's say we have something called if age equals the price. If the price is equals let's say 40. Right now we're gonna check whether if let's say x equals 40, the value we don't know. If the x we don't know the value. If x is less than 10, we're gonna say x is less than 10. Again, we're gonna check whether if x is equals to 10, whether if it is x is less than 10, whether if it is x is equals to 10, we're gonna check x is okay, let's say number, then it's easier, no? Right, now let's say negative, positive, and 0. If it is a number we have, if it is x is less than 0, if x is less than 0, we're gonna say it's a negative. And again, you're gonna check if x is equals to 0, then we're gonna say it is 0. And if it is, otherwise you can say if x is greater than 0, if x is greater than 0, we're gonna say it is positive. Right, negative, 0 or positive. We have the example. Now, these are three separate if conditions, right? No matter what you have here, right? No matter what you have here, now, no matter what you have, it would be right now. If the x value v is a negative value, it will display negative. Even though whatever the value, it will check whether x equals 0 and x is greater than 0. It will check for all these conditions, no matter. But if you want, if the x is not negative, you could put inside else. If else, then we can have like this. If it is else statement, that means if x is less than 0, it would print negative, and then again it would check whether if it is x is equals to 0. If it is x equals 0, it would print 0. Else, we could simply say, because only one option is left now, either it should be greater than 0 or less than 0 or equals to 0. Therefore, what we do is, if it is less than 0, it's going to be negative. Else, again, we're going to check. If x is equal to 0, we're going to display 0. Else, we're going to say positive. Right now, okay, previously we had right now, let's say here we have the same thing. X is right now. This is the first scenario. In the first scenario, tell me how many, like whatever the x value is going to be, how many if conditions will get tested? Let's say x value is a negative value, -5. How many if conditions will be tested? In this case, if the x equals -5, how many conditions will be tested?
3.
3 times. All these if conditions will be tested separately. In the second scenario, if x equals -5, how many things would get tested?
Only one. Only
Sorry?
one. Only one.
Only one, because -5 less than 0 true, therefore it would print negative. That's it, only this. Right, if it is if x equals 0, in this scenario, how many times this would be tested? How many if conditions?
1,
Three.
2,
Will it test all the if conditions?
Yes.
Yes. Now, no matter whether it is 0, it will test all the conditions. Right, in this case, if the x value is 0, how many conditions will it test?
2.
Cannot hear Rukshan.
2 if else.
2. The first one,
Yeah.
yes, it would test this, then it become false. Therefore, it go into the else statement. Inside the else, again we have if else. Then again it will check the if condition. Yes, x equals 0. Therefore, it will test second one as well. Therefore, now this time it will check 2 if conditions will get evaluated. If x is a 10, if x is 10, in the first case scenario, how many if conditions will it evaluate?
3.
3. Okay, the second scenario, if x equals 10, how many?
3.
Again, it will check this one. 10 less than 0 false. Therefore, it goes into the else. Again, this become false. Therefore, only 2 conditions will be tested. Then the answer would be given as else positive. Right? Yes. Then again 2. Right now, remember, in this, rather writing if, else, inside again if, this thing we could have written like this easily. Right now, we could have a if, and then we can merge else if. Else if x is less than 0 negative. Else if this is false, then check this. Else if equals to 0. Otherwise, else. positive. Right, now this thing we can easily write like this using if, else, if ladder. Right, therefore remember, when you're using if, else, if ladder, right now we can have if and then the condition, if and then the condition, and thereafter whatever the body statements. If this is false, we can have else if and then the conditions. Again we can have else if the conditions. Finally, optionally, if you want, you can have else. That is optional. If you want only, you can have the else statement. Optionally, we can have the else statement. Right. Therefore, we could write like this. Now, using this way, we could write easily this one. Right now, let's see how to do this. Then, if the mark is less than 45, if the mark is less than 45, we need to say pair. Else if. Else if. Now, do we need to check this? Do we have a requirement to check this? Do we have a requirement to check this marks is less than or equal, greater than or equals to 45? Okay, now tell me, if this condition falls, then what can you say about the marks variable? Yes, Rukshani?
It's greater than or equal 45.
Yes, if the first if condition is false, that means marks less than 45 false. That means what? For sure, guaranteed, the marks variable is equals to 45 or greater than 45. Therefore, no need to check this one now because it's already tested, already checked. Then we can check if the mark is less than 65. Else if mark is less than 65, C. But even if this is false, what can you say about the marks? Now this condition also false. Then what can you say about the marks?
Marks is greater than or equal 65.
Marks is greater than or equals to 65 now,
Six.
because if the marks is less than 65 false means either it is equals to 65 or greater than 65. Therefore now we're going to go into next. Again else if. Now we don't need to check again less than or greater than or equals to 65. We know obviously it is greater than or equals to 65. Now we have to just check the mark is less than 85. If the mark is less than 85, then we can print B. If this is also false, that means what?
Then mark is
Greater than or equals to
85.
85. Therefore, now we don't need to check. If it is above 85, we can say A. Right? Therefore, without this, even if you want, you can have else if mark is less than 100 and you would print A. Else, if you assume that marks is around 10 to 100, then you can say A. But even you want to make sure whether the mark is within in between 0 and 100 only. Even you can put another if condition here at the beginning. If the mark is in between 0 to 100 only to do this. Otherwise, you can say invalid mark likewise. Right now, this is how you use it using if else if ladder. Then do this. Okay, quickly write this one. Okay, let's see how we're gonna go. It asks any hour in 24-hour format. If it is 8, good morning. If it is 10, good morning. If it is 11, good morning. If it is 12, good afternoon. If it is 15, good afternoon. If it is 17, good afternoon. If it is 18, that means good night. If it is 24, good night. If it is 25, and 10 hour less than 24. And if it is -1 and 10 hour less within incorrect, you can say incorrect time or something like that. Invalid input. Invalid input. Enter an hour in 24-hour format. Likewise, you could do the first one. Right now, we are done in the first one. And now I want you to do the second one and the third one. Right, I will has anyone completed the second one as well? Temperature, yes, so I got the answer as well. Let me take a copy of that one as well. Right now, this is the first one, and then the second one. Okay, shall I clear this? Is this okay? Okay, we'll have it here. What has happened? Okay, we'll make this line as a comment. You get the temperature class, and then we'll make it as a class test. Then it's here, and then you get the scan input. You get the temperature. Temperature is less than 0. You're gonna say freezing weather. Else if now you no need to check this Pute. Why? Because if it is false, that means obviously temperature is greater than or equals to 0. Is that clear? No need to check this. Why? If the first condition false means temperature is less than 0, false means it has to be greater than or equals to 0. Therefore, no need of checking this. Now you can check that it is less than or equals to 10. Even if this is false, That means what? The temperature is greater than or equals to 10. Therefore, no need to check this as well, right? And then you can check whether if it is less than 20. Therefore, cold weather. Again, we don't need to check this. If the above condition false means obviously temperature is greater than or equals to 40. So 20. And then again, you don't need to check this because if the previous one false, that means temperature is greater than or equals to 30. Then you can check whether it is 40. Then you can say hot. Otherwise, whatever the temperature, you can say very hot. Right now, you don't need to say scanner close. The input stream of feeder anyway got closed automatically. Right now, if you run this, it will ask you to enter the temperature. If it is 35, it will say hot. If it is 45, it would say very hot. If it is minus 40, it would say freezing weather. If it is 10, it would say very cold weather. If it is 15, it's a cold weather. If it is 20, cold weather. If it is 26, normal. If it is 32, hot. Likewise, it would display. Right now, this is how you use if else if ladder. Right now, for the time being, now I will send you the answers for both via chat. Right now, I will send you as chat everyone because I want to display the one by one at a time. We need to send. Right now, I want you to quickly write the last one correctly. Okay, quickly do this. Two inputs are required, previous month meter reading and the current month meter reading, and then calculate the number of usage units, and thereafter, according to the usage unit, you need to do this. Right. This is the tariff table. Usage charge, and if we are, for an example, if user has consumed, let's say 28 or let's say 8 units, then 5 into 60, 3 into 80 plus 300. Because whatever the if user has 45 units consumed, then only the respective service charge would added, and but the fees would calculated like now. For an example, if the units is equals to 43, if the units equals to 43, then 5 into you have to get 5 into 60 plus 5 into 60 plus another 5 into 80, 5 into 80 plus another 5 into 100 plus another 5 into 110 plus again 5 into 130 plus 5 into 160 plus 5 into 180. Now only 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Right, 60, 80, 100, 110, 130, 160, 180. Right. Then we have 80 means how many units? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 35 units. Okay, then 30 to 49, 10 units, no? 180 means 10 units, right? Plus, again, we have another 3 units. 43 units, so 3 units into 210 plus respective month, which is 3000. we need to add these in order to get the the total monthly bill for the 43 units consumption. If it is let's say 8 10 13 units, 5 into 60, 5 into 80, then 3 into 100, and you need to add the respective service charge for monthly service charge. That's gonna be 13 units, then 300, then 300. Now this is how you calculate it. Right, according to that, do it and send it to me via chat, please. I will give you around 10 minutes max. Let's do this together. Right now, tell me how to do this. We have to ask user to enter the previous month reading. Previous month meter reading, and then that we will get integer PR, and then the current month reading. This month meter reading, and then let's say CR and number of units. Units equals to CR minus PR. Right, then we have to get this thing done. How to do this? Bill value, let's say, will have variable power. If units less than or equals to 5, less than or equals to 5, what you have to do? Bill is equals to number of units into 60 plus 300. Then else if units less than or equals to 10, bill is equals to 5 into 60 plus number of units minus 5 into units minus 5 into 80 plus 300. Else if the units is less than or equals to 15, 5 into 6 plus 5 into 80 plus units minus 10 into 100 plus 300. Right now this thing was covered now. Else if the units is less than 20, 5 into 60 plus 5 into 80 plus 5 into 110 plus units minus 15 equals into 100. 5 into 10 into minus into 100 and 110. Plus 400. Right. Semicolon missing. If it is 25, 5 into 65 into 85 into 110 plus 5 into 100 plus 5 into 110 plus units into 20, then that multiplied by 130 plus 500. Else if the number of units is less than 30, and then that also into 5 into 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, that into 130 plus units minus 25 units into 160 plus 600. And the number of units is less than or equals to 40, then 5 into 65 into 130 and 5 into 160 plus units minus 30 units into 180. 80 plus 600. Right. 180 plus 600. And then you can have, if the units is less than 180 plus 1500, no? Yes, 1500. The number of units is less than 50. 10 units multiplied by 180. Units minus 40. 40 to 50 units is equals to 110. 3000. And I'll say if the units is less than 75, and 1, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35, 30, 40, 50. 10 into 210 is 50 units. Multiplied by units minus 50 units into 240 and 3500. And if it is 51, 75 units, right, then 76 to 100. Then again, you're going to have, if the units is less than or equals to 100, and 50 to 75 is multiplied by 240, no? Then 25 units multiplied by 240 plus units minus 75 into 270 plus 4,000. And then else, if it is above 100, calculated by another set of 25 units into 270 plus units minus 100 multiplied by 300, and fixed charge going to be 4,500. Then you could display, right, finally you can display system.out.println. Units consumed it's and the bill value, total bill bill. Right now, thereafter we have to close the brackets. As the previous monthly reading is 250 and current month reading is 276. Then total units consumed 26. If the total units consumed is 26, then according to the water tariff, I guess. Where is the water tariff? I have answered it. Right now, this is what you have here for the domestic usage. Yes, this is right. Then if it is 26 units, then you have to calculate 6 into 5, 8 into 5, 100 into 5, 110 into 5, 130 into 5, 1 into 160 plus 600. Now that would be 3,160. Just calculate it and see. How much now? 26 units. Then 5 into 60 plus 5 into 80 plus 5 into 80. Okay, my bad. Then you have to have brackets there. Okay, you can using Excel sheet or something, and else like using a calculator, you could try out this, and then you could verify this is correct. Right now, even we tried for lesser one. Only 10 minutes, 10 units has been consumed. Then 5 into 6 is 300. 5 into 80, 400, 300 plus 400, 700, 700 plus 300 is 1000. You can see 1000 units. Right now, if you consume more than that, if you consume like 50 units, your bill would be 1100. Likewise, you will get. Right. Therefore, you can verify with your house meter reading as well by checking this. Let's say if it is 218, then let's say how many consumption units? 18. Total bill gives you 1930. Likewise, it will give you. Right now, check whether is there any logics we have missed or not. Just try to figure it out. And then you could try out if you want to further calculate. You could try out with electricity bill calculator or income tax calculator. You can just search for income tax, and thereafter you could write your own code in order to calculate the income tax. Right now, this is how we did this. How many of you got these answers are correct? Can you check and tell me? Have I done any mistakes in the coding? I might have done that. I'm not sure about the logic, the calculations. When you enter 26 units, how much you got? Run your application and tell me. Mrs. Nath, have you done it?
I'm halfway, sir.
Halfway.
Yeah.
Sarini?
I'm also halfway.
Okay, who has done this now? You have sent me the answer. No?
The only the first part was
Right. Shamara? Shamara, if it is 26 units, what is the answer? Right, then we can start with the switch statement. Shall we start with the switch then? And then we can do some exercises on the next day. Shall we start the switch? Oh, let's finish this theory. Right, okay. Right now, here we have been talking about if conditions, and then the statement, we have a condition to be checked. If the condition is true, it will gonna execute the body statements. If the condition is false, it's gonna go to the else statement. Right. Right. Then the inside the condition, it has to be a Boolean expression because it has to be evaluated to a Boolean value. Right. Now that's what we discussed, and thereafter we could have nested if conditions as well. That means you can have 0 or 1 else for a given if condition. That means for any given if condition, either you can have an else statement or it's not a requirement to have an else statement. But if you are using any else statement, it has to come after any if condition or else if condition. That means if else statement should follow if or else if. You cannot have else statement without if or else if. Having an else is not required, it's optional. Then you can have 0 to many else ifs for a given if, and they must come before the optional else. After the else, you can't have else ifs. Therefore, you can have if conditions, thereafter else if conditions, then else. Then once an else if succeeded, none of the remaining else ifs or else's will be tested. Right? And this is if else if ladder. You have if condition, else if, like that. This is what I said. Right? You can't have if, else here, and thereafter else if. No. You can't have else if statements after the else. Else is not required. This is option. And you can't have else if conditions without it. Therefore, first if condition should follow else or else if. If you are using else if, else if, and finally you can have else. Right, now nested statements, like now here you can see here, we have if price is less than 300 buy product, else, again you have if price is less than 400 get approval, again else, don't buy product. Therefore, this nested if conditions, we could write using if else if ladder easily. If price is less than 300 buy product, else if price is less than 400 get approval, else don't buy product. Therefore, this is how easily you can manage nested if statements. This is what we did. Right, now this is an example. If x is equals to 1, if x equals to 3, if x is equals to 3, then if x is equals to 3, then nothing good. Then if it is false, since x equals 1, then it is false, therefore x less than 4. Then if x less than 4, it would display less than 4. Therefore, if x is less than 2, now again you're going to check. If x is less than 2, x is less than 4, x is less than 4. Less than 4 and less than 2. Right, now tell me what would be the output here if x equals to 1. Now, if the answer is 1, what would be the output? Think and tell me properly. Alright, now let's say if x equals 3, it would print x equals 3. Here it would print x equals 3. Okay. Now tell me what would be the output here. What would be the output?
Less than 4, less than 2.
Less than 4, less than 2. Right. Okay, quickly try out that as well. Right, now I'm not going to try. You have to try and then tell me the answer. What is the answer? Yes, what is the answer output?
Less than 4.
Yes, initially what's going to happen now? Okay, let's try out. Now what's going to happen? Right now, initially, x is equals to 1. X equals 3, false. This is false. And then it's going to go to the LC. Now 1 less than 4. Is it true? Yes. Therefore, this is true. Therefore, this would print less than 4. Once else if condition is evaluated, none of the else ifs or else will get evaluated. Therefore, this would print less than 4. Is that clear? Everyone, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right, good. Okay, then we have right now some expressions. Right now, remember, integer 1 and 0 does not give you true or false values. Therefore, integer 1 and 0 will not give you true or false values. Therefore, you can't have inside if condition integer variable and you can set it as 1. It doesn't give you as true. And true int is an integer variable which is 1. 1 is not equals to true, therefore this is illegal. And inside, like here, you can't have 1. This is illegal. False int means 0, 0 not equals to false, therefore this is illegal. You can't compare two different types. True int is equals 1 because what you are checking is 1 is equals to 1 and 0 is equals to 0. These two are legal. Right now, this is how you could use it if conditions. Right now, by any chance, can you use if true? If true, can you use like this? If true. Can you use if true? Yes, because it has to be evaluated to Boolean expression. Yes, you can have it as if true or if false. Likewise, you can have it. Right. Okay. And then we have to start with the switch statement. Therefore, I'm not going to start switch statement today. Any questions up to now, you can ask now.
Sir,
Otherwise,
can you
yes.
explain this true int equal 1?
Yes, what is true int variable? What is the type of true int variable?
That is a variable, no?
Sorry?
Is it a variable? True
Yeah.
int.
What is true int here? What is true int variable?
Yes, then right, sir.
It is an integer.
Understand.
False int is
Yeah.
an integer variable. Now what you are
Right,
checking
sir.
here? True int variable is an integer variable which contains 1. 1 equals 1. That is true. That is possible. False int
Yes,
is what?
sir.
Is an integer variable which is 0. Therefore, you can test check that. But here, inside a bracket, you can't have like if 0. You can't have if 0 or if 1. You can't have. Because 0 and 1 does not considered as true or false values in Java. Right? But you can have if true, you can have it. If false, you can have it. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Right. Any questions, please ask now.